things by the book. We need to do things the way that everybody else is doing it. Otherwise, that chaos overtakes you, and you become the bad guy.
Yeah, you just gotta stick to your disciplined, like, understanding of Dota, where you just get carried away sometimes.
Yeah,
It's like he's supposed to join that fight because he knows he's strong, and then I use this specific example because it is so textbook Beast Coast. I remember telling the person, I think it was Kyle in the back, and he's like, "Oh, okay, that's Hector." Yeah, you see all this kind of stuff. Like, I remember talking about on panel that Hector's the kind of guy that buys like components of an item and doesn't even complete it, and then doesn't have buyback. And then I think it was D2 Bowie that retweeted it and showed me a clip of like a actual tournament where he bought a Mithril Hammer towards a Basher, and then didn't have buyback, and they lost the game. And he didn't even have the full Basher. So you just don't know what you're going to get with these guys. And then on the other hand, with EG, I feel like I know exactly what I'm going to get. And it's just a matter of whether or not like the Beast Coast high variance play style is going to end up above that of consistency from EG or not.
Yeah, I keep thinking of analogies right now. It's early in the morning. I don't know why. Every time early in the morning, it's like analogy central for me.
Yeah.
But, you know, if we were all to cook some steak and potatoes,
okay,
the main thing that would be different, right? You're using the same major ingredients, steak and potatoes. It's going to be the spice, right? The spice would be our style. You get carried away and you only rely on that spice, you're literally eating Tony's out of a spoon and you're coughing up just red chalk dust. It's not going to work. You have to get back to the meat and potatoes, and I think that that's something that we need to see from Beast
I like
Coast
that,
today.
the meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes. Meat and potatoes Dota, right? Cross your T's, dot your I's. And when we look at Beast Coast, I believe they're, 1-3 out of yesterday?
Yeah, they are.
It was the first game that they won, too, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And that first game, I remember watching that first game, and I was just like, yeah, they're winning the tournament. Like, this is awesome.
They looked really good in that game.
They looked insane. And it's understandable that you would have a result like that and just be like, all right, well, let's do that. And you know what? Let's do it even more. And you go crazy, and you end up not getting the result.
I think that happens a lot in Dota, actually. Like, something works, and instead of identifying the core reasons why that worked, you go overboard with it. You're like, okay, these heroes are good no matter what. Let's first to it. It's not good. It's not that good. You know, you had more factors that made it good the first time you used it, even if you don't know about them.
Yeah. It's just, it's so relatable. That's the thing that I love about Dota so much. As an idiot, like an absolute idiot who is terrible at Dota, everything about me makes me a bad Dota player. Like, I am awful. I can watch Dota and just understand the human side of it. And that's the reason why these tournaments have always been something that I think is just so universal.
Yeah, there's a lot of confirmation bias in Dota, and it's really hard not to be like results-oriented.
It's almost impossible, I think, honestly. There's just too many things going on in the game, right?
Oh, there are so many factors. You have like a whole year of your life happen in every single game, and then you have to parse all of that. And I think it's so easy to weight something too heavily, right? And be like, okay, this is where everything went wrong, when sometimes it's just simply somebody had a bad game.
Well,
sometimes it's something completely different.
When you hear the human side of even just paneling with someone like Owie, where they talk about their experiences in tournaments, and we try to craft this like genius plan that these teams came up with, and sometimes they don't even know why they won. Like, they're trying to figure it out themselves. Like, they'll have to watch the replay back and where did the stars align? What happened here?
Because it's so fast for them as well, too. And it's very... You have these moments, and it's very difficult as somebody who is watching. It's very difficult. Everybody's doing something different, right? Like, you're watching right now, and it's like, oh, my God, how did my team screw up? We're on the panel. We're analyzing everything, and we're like, you know what? When he took 2 deep breaths during the draft, I think that was a sign of insecurity. You know, maybe he didn't sleep enough last night, right? We're reading into absolutely everything, and let's be honest, a lot of time the analysts, we're overthinking. Truth of the matter. And then on the team side, it's like, okay, they just woke up and they played Dota for 20 hours, went to sleep, played Dota for 20 hours, went to sleep, played Dota for 20 hours. How much time do they really have to sit down and assess all of the information that happens? Now, I do think a team like Beast Coast right now, after yesterday, they probably did have that time, and now they're probably going through everything yesterday, and I think we could see a completely different team.
I hope so. I hope to see the same team with slight variance in the picks. Yeah, I think moving, like, it's a perfect example of what you said, what teams will do, where you had a 9th pick Veno that worked really well in the first game, and then you suddenly pick it 4th overall in the draft, and you're like, it's going to work. They picked TA. It looked so good against the TA mid. And it's like, well, it was also just a good Veno game, and then the next game, you're against TA mid again, but then the other 2 cores are quite good against you, and it just doesn't have the same effect.
I think that happens in Dota a lot. Like, not even just in these drafts with pro teams, but in play. Like, the reason why something works, or the reason why something works isn't necessarily because it's the correct move or the correct option. Sometimes things work for completely unrelated reasons. And if you come to like a quick judgment, like you were just mentioning on the Veno, sometimes you think the hero's good for the wrong reason. You pick again and you look silly, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You have, I think you brought up a few different terms like confirmation bias, things like that. But there's also a lot of, there's a lot of that confirmation bias, and there's a lot of that results-oriented thinking, right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I did this and I won, therefore it's good. And having the mindset and also the staff around you to not just be completely results-oriented, sometimes you win and it was bad, and you can't do it again.
And I think that's really important for learning, actually.
Yeah.
Because if you only use whether something worked or didn't as whether it's the correct move, you just won't learn. Like, you won't come to the right conclusions ever.
Yeah, and it's a valuable skill in life too, right? Especially with like something like when you are now performing in front of people the way that the internet works. You have like this non-stop feedback loop, right? And just because that feedback loop gets excited doesn't mean it's like a route to go. Like, you can hear all of the fans say like, this was awesome, do it again. You can't really rely on that anymore, right? Like right now you could just say, oh, Keck W, and bam, a bunch of Keck W's. Doesn't mean that you did the right thing. And I feel like when you're competing now in Dota, that's a very similar thing as well. Because like, look at how involved the community gets on every single clip. Look at how involved the community is on the subreddit. There's so much information flying at these players nonstop that it's hard to make those calls.
Sifting through all the BS is the biggest part. The funny thing about Dota is sometimes it's not even what you did right, it's what the opponent did wrong in regards to the hero.
Or mix, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just so many factors all at once.
Yeah, it's crazy because when I play, one lesson I've had to learn, I don't know how long ago, I feel like I'm usually a year or two behind the pro meta because like I eventually talk to them or interact with them in pubs, and it's like,
I wouldn't say you're a year or two.
oh, I'm just, I'm just saying, arbitrary value of time is, I will play a hero like Luna at the start of this patch, and it'll feel really strong, and I'll win like my first 4 or 5 games, and then I watch a few times that the Luna loses, and I see like a common pattern, and I realize in like the first 4 or 5 games I played it, it's a new patch, people haven't played against Luna in a while, and then suddenly they've now figured out, oh, we just need to gank this hero because it's going to be farming Ancients for the first 10 minutes of the game right there every single time, and it will die. And once people start doing that, then the hero loses. I'm just giving like one example where you feel really good about the hero, but it's actually the opponent not understanding how to beat it. And the second that that's not the case anymore, the hero sucks.
It's funny because, you know, I will always, this is something that I always say. There are a million reasons that, you know, you guys impress me on the daily. All of the analysts who are here really impress me. But the most impressive thing that I feel like I always can never express enough is the ability to look at a game, and when I ask the question, okay, was this the losing team making mistakes that resulted in the victory, or was it the winning team playing out of their minds or doing something right? And I feel like that is the hardest thing an analyst has to do, and I feel like it's the hardest thing a Dota player has to do, because for you guys, look, there's not that much emotion involved. For them, there is emotion
10 times
involved.
easier to be a third party.
How do you not take credit for a stomp that you just had and be like, yeah, I'm a fucking god?
It's way easier outside the game. It's like, if you could play as a pro team, but you could just have a 6th man there to tell you what to do during the game, he would be able to make really good calls for you.
That would be really good.
That would be really good.
That's a really
that could actually
solid
make
idea.
you win a tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think it's realistic that we would ever have.
No, they would never allow that.
Yeah, never. I mean, you could literally like walk up to me and tell me that was a thing, and I'd be like, no way, I wouldn't believe it.
It would be bad.
Yeah. It would be a valuable thing.
Hypothetically.
Yeah, and
Hypothetically.
I think that when we keep talking about these hypotheticals, it is exciting to actually look at the concrete, the definites that we're going to get. We already started to talk about Beast Coast quite a bit because it's an exciting team to watch. It has been for a very long time. And they're going to be up against another team that's very exciting to watch in EG to kick off the day. How do you feel about EG's performance yesterday?
It was solid, but I would argue they probably shouldn't have won that Terrorblade game. So when they were 3-1, but that was against TNC, right? I'm almost certain that was against TNC. Yeah, they didn't look convincing, and TNC I would say is one of the weaker teams in the group. So they still have something to prove to me today, and I think by the end of this series, I'll have a very clear impression of both these teams.
Yeah, if we could take a look at the schedule, that'd be awesome to kind of start to peel through that a little bit, because there are a lot of very exciting matchups today. I heard TNC's name, and I thought about some of the matches that they're going to have, and I feel like we did not walk you guys through this yet. I actually didn't even realize Beast Coast back-to-back. So first, we're actually going to be watching them up against Evil Geniuses on this stage, and then they're going to be playing up against TNC. TNC is going to be back a little bit later to round out the day when they go up against Team Nigma and Team Spirit, a team that lost a little bit of the gas that they had earlier in the tournament. They're going to be going up against LGD, obviously a very formidable opponent. But there is so much Dota going on. I just want to remind all of you, if you happen to just tune into this stream because you love AUI and BSJ as much as I do, or you're really excited for that first game, make sure you're paying attention to the squad stream feature on Twitch. It's awesome. I've always wanted to be in a squad stream with like Ninja or something. That would be really cool.
That's the dream.
Yeah, Poggers cranking 90s with the boys. Happy birthday, Ninja.
Is it his birthday?
I think so. I think so. Happy birthday, Ninja. Nice to meet you. But I do think that the squad stream is really awesome, and it's a really fun way to watch Dota because there's another 4 series that are going to be going on as well, and Sheev's going to be hosting them throughout the majority of the day. Whole bunch of Dota. I've been loving this format. It's just been non-stop madness.
Oh, there's a reason why TI Groups is just amazing. Like you're just in that tournament's even on a grander scale. You're watching 4 monitors at once, and you're like, "Who's winning? Who's the? Oh, this series that could literally decide who makes it through." And that's the cool thing about all these series is we could look back on this series specifically and say, "This is when Beast Coast's downfall happened, or this is when they made the comeback that started their run to top 2 in the groups." You know?
Yeah, it's so funny. Like TI, I was not prepared at all for what that environment's actually like during groups because I think it's like 4 streams at minimum.
Yeah,
it's something like that. So it's like 4 streams
simultaneous.
Simultaneous. Everybody's broken up into like different rooms, and there's like this mad rush. It's what I imagine like a newsroom is like. Everybody's running out, and it's like, oh, we got a front page article, like, and you just got fogged running past you. He's like, yeah, I won't believe they're absolute shit. And then like then you got somebody else running out of another room, and it's just like this mad information of all the Dota flying around. Truly incredible environment to be in, and being back at this tournament, it's starting to feel like that again. It's starting to feel like you can really feel the energy coming up. You know, it was dormant for a little while. We didn't know when we were actually going to get to see the teams compete to lift up that Aegis once again, and we're looking at it right now. One last stop, and that's this tournament right here, and we're starting to get through the work that we need for that main event. A lot of huge surprises with the show itself that you guys are going to be seeing, and also we made it through the wild card first 2 days, and we're getting close to seeing what's going to be happening in groups. I'm very excited to actually get to a nice playoff bracket and see who's going to be able to take this one. It just feels nice for the world to be moving again.
Yeah, my question would be, I agree, it's all about this like newsroom aspect of everyone just running around, information flying everywhere. What's it like as like a player? Is it anything like that, or is it much more chill and just like
TI?
Yeah, TI like a big
chill. Yeah, it's definitely not chill. I think my favorite format that we played was, I think it was TI4, where you were all in one group. Maybe it's TI3, I can't remember, but you played like a best of 2 versus 15 other teams.
TI4 is the year before you won.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the.
I think it might have been TI3 where you played every single team, but maybe I can't remember. Anyways, that one was crazy because coming into these international tournaments, like you all have different strategies from your region, and you really want to play everyone to see who's the best. I think now, you know, they toned it down a little bit. There are 2 groups. It's a bit more stable. It's a bit more like, you know, maybe you play at TI5, you get to play C-Deck, you steal the strategy, so you win the tournament. Secrets in the other group, Secrets in the other group, they don't get to play C-Deck, so
do you guys
just lose.
Ever take a step back and just go like, holy shit, like, think about all the history, how many years it's actually been, and how much has changed, and how much everything's just changed your life. Like, you bring up 2014, like, for me, I'm instantly, like, that's the first year I watched. Like, that was the first year where I was like, holy shit, changed my life forever. I remember I was in college. I went to NYU. I went to game design school, and they just had us, like, in a room. They got us, like, a bunch of pizza, and it was on a giant, like, projector. And then after that, watched you, and it's just wild because those moments, that's why I'm here. Like the impact that those games had on so many different people, some of them probably still watching right now in the stream, get ready to go. Like, it gives me chills just thinking about all of the history, and like those games literally changed my life. I'm here now because of it. I never would have been casting if I didn't start watching then, and now I'm sitting next to you. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
I've had this this crazy thought of how did I get here? And whenever I go on this tangent in my own mind, like I'm laying in bed and I looking up and I'm just like, holy crap. I did start I watched TI2. That was the first one I ever watched. And it was just my friend saying, this game's kind of cool. And look, there's a big tournament. And here I am. That's like,
yeah.
You just think about it even, I don't know. It's crazy.
I think it happens for a lot of players too, where you can look back in your past and just see all the individual players that just taught you so much about the game and like pulled you through with them. Like for me, like when I started playing Dota 2, it was just, I think it was Tides of Time. He just messaged me, hey, you want to come play? Because we played Dota 1 together. I'm like, okay, sounds fun. And then we made like a team together, and like, you know, I had like Way Too Sexy. He would like teach me pretty much everything I know about Dota, and you can progress through it. You know, all these people you learn from, all these people you work from, and all of a sudden you're here. It's such a, it's an interesting timeline that a lot of people don't know about Dota.
Yeah, and also it's this feeling that it's really difficult and also really want to share with people of just like getting involved in Dota, and all of a sudden the people that you watched just instantly being like, yeah, you're my friend now. Like, come along for the ride. Like, you're a part of the community. And like, I've had that happen to me so many times, and it's really exciting. But you know what's even more exciting? The fact that we're getting into this game right now. Let's take a look at some of the bans that we are seeing for EG versus Beast Coast. First game of the day that's going to be played out on our stage. Looks like we got a Nyx, something that we've seen a whole bunch just getting banned.
They should ban Nyx Leshrac. I think Beast Coast has shown that, like, Whisper in general, he likes to play a lot of ranged damage dealers. Play like the Leshracs, the Phoenixes.
Yeah, the Phoenixes.
Yeah, Snapfire, anything like that. Oh, they banned A instead. So Beast Coast will, I think they might take the Leshrac here. It was banned for some in the LGD series.
Oh, they went Treant for.
Okay, this is a hero that teams have been talking about. I think
Holy Locket Rush, and you can spam your Living Armor on towers on some guy that's going to run around the map aggressively. A lot of Chinese teams during the DPC were pairing it with the Leshrac.
Yeah, specifically because the towers are really hard to take now, just because they changed the TP range. This Treant hero is one of the best supports at delaying the tower, as well. Of course, you have the heal as well. And I think this hero is underrated right now. I came in being told it was first pick, and no one played it, pretty much.
I'm a bit surprised. I will be shocked if Beast Coast does not go Leshrac right
Yeah, they should. I think it's really good here. EG, they do have some ideas here though. They picked a really strong lane. I think it's pretty hard to lane Treant into this lane in particular. They just hit really hard. I mean, it's Mars Lina, one of the best lanes. But not only that, but when you dive to take a tower, your arena clears all the trees, so Treant can no longer defend.
People are consistently picking Mars against Tree, and you said that you were hearing that Tree would be first pick, or was being first picked. It really could be as simple as they don't want to ban Mars in the first round, and a lot of teams feel like if Mars is in the pool, Tree can't do what it wants to do, which is sit behind the tier 1 tower and defend it within the safety of the trees.
Okay, so to go for the TA, honestly still surprised they're not going for the Leshrac. Chris Luck though, he has so I was talking to Quinn this morning, CCNC on Quincy Crew. I'm like, what do you think of Chris Luck? And he was like, well, most mid players have a hero pool. Chris Luck has a pool lake. Because he just plays everything. He breaks out like Slark's mid, he was playing Mars mid, one of the first ones, like Legion mid. He's playing TA.
He does indeed play whatever the hell.
Yeah, he just plays anything.
I remember there was one patch where Axe, this is like a year or two ago, where Axe seemed pretty strong as an offlaner, and Chris Luck just first pick spammed Axe in the mid lane for like 40 games in a row. It ended up being terrible, but he's just the kind of guy that he just doesn't care. If he wants to play it, he's feeling it. I love his attitude.
He's like in the pubs though, like he does whatever he wants and he tests his ideas. Yeah, it's good.
He's like ranked 90, but you're like, if this guy legit took every game super seriously and did not experiment, he'd probably be ranked higher, but it would not help him.
He's like one of the few players where I feel like the way they play the game is exactly how they are in real life as well.
Oh my god!
It's like this like weird phenomenon with him. When I met him, I was like, oh my god.
You're talking about TI 8 after party or TI 9?
It was you, me. Yeah.
I was there with you. I'm like, I think we're thinking about the same thing.
I love that dude.
Dude, no, Chris Luck. Okay, you guys have to understand. This is in a nice way because he. Okay, some people come off creepy. He was legit like flirting with everyone's girlfriends for no reason.
I wasn't gonna actually say the story.
Like, I remember me and my girlfriend were there, and I'm literally like,
Team Secret's gonna be tweeting about him now.
I was like my arm around my girlfriend, and he's hitting on her.
Yeah, I was literally watching. I was like,
he's
what
a beast.
the heck?
He's actually a beast.
Yeah, absolute legend. He kept sitting on a table too, and the table kept falling down, and he kept picking up the table and sitting on it again. Like, what the? And that's what it takes to be. You know, usually you would say doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. That's the definition of insanity. It's the definition of a good Dota player.
Especially mid players. Like mid players they're just built different. Like, they're different than every other Dota player, and Chris Luck, I guess he embodies that.
Yeah, the odd part about him is nobody was uncomfortable. Like, he doesn't give you, like, bad
no,
vibes.
Like,
it was like, come hang out with us.
Hey, dude, like, come hit on our girlfriends.
We're not going to tweet about you. We're not Team Secret.
Oh, God.
All right, so we get that Bat Rider and the Phoenix band here.
Yeah, they're just banning to protect the TA. Anytime you pick a core like this, pretty much your next 3 bans from first pick are always going to protect that 4th slot.
EG's drafts have been very formulaic, and they've been following it so far. So if they were first pick, they will always pick AA on the side of EG. If they're not first pick, they've banned AA every game. I should have actually noted that because I have that in my notes. But if they don't get AA, they always first round their 4 plus either their mid or off lane. And then in the second round, they pretty much always third pick Fly's hero. And then they pretty much always last pick Arteezy's hero. So they are very consistent in what order they pick the roles.
And we saw that the last major too, right? Like, they would just pick Abbott's hero first 2. Well, they would just pick Storm first 2 no matter what. So
far, Mars is their most picked offlaner. They've picked it 2 out of the 4 games, now 3 out of 5. And Abed and Arteezy have both played 4 different heroes. So even though they're first rounding Abed's hero half the time, it's not consistent with what they're doing, which is kind of cool.
EG is a team, though. If they think something is broken, they will pick it
run
over
back,
and over again.
First pick Terrorblade, never forget.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily bad. Like, sometimes if they lose, it ends up looking stupid.
Yeah.
But I think EG's the type of team that's willing to bet on their knowledge over the enemy team's knowledge, like their understanding of a hero, a lot of times. And, I mean, they're a good team.
10 seconds remaining.
Their laning stage is the scariest in the world, I think.
I think so, too. I think,
5 seconds
especially with Ice joining, because whenever you ask any carry player, like, who's the most annoying person to play against, like, even as a support, it's always going to be Ice. He is just such a little shit, in a good way. Like,
He really is.
He just pushes everything. He will do stuff just to annoy you, even if it doesn't benefit him. Like, he's in a mental game.
He's literally playing, he's like in a psychology major while he's playing a Dota game. No, so I don't know if you know this because it was somewhat of a trend on Reddit with Ice spamming on his stream. It became a thing that he would purposely TP out in front of people that he knew would have to go out of position to cancel his TP, but they could. Like 100%. Yeah. He wasn't intending to TP ever, but he made the guy walk forward to stun him, and then his team was behind, and they would kill the guy. It's like the weirdest thing.
Just mental game.
Yeah, who
just
does
straight
that?
mental
He's
game.
like TPing out with the expectation to get it canceled so the guy canceling it dies. Like, who comes up with this
just
crap?
pure bait.
Yeah.
Actually, I have one like that I've wanted to do for a long time.
What is it?
But I'm too bad to play now. It's so your team's smoking to defend a tier 2, right?
Yeah.
And you have two people TP in front of it.
Yeah.
And then cancel it. So then it seems like, oh, we can take this tower.
Oh.
But you're smoking there. And then you just, they don't think you're going to
It'd
5
probably
anymore.
be more believable if it was 1. And
Yeah,
then,
sure,
like,
just 1 even.
Yeah. And it would be 1, and then you'd like see the people around you and then cancel.
Yeah,
That'd be
cancel
sick.
it's...
Oh, they don't have
Always
carry.
want to do that.
No carry, guys.
Okay,
so they've... No, go ahead.
Nah, you go ahead.
I was going to say they instantly picked 2 heroes, the Willow. The one thing I like about Willow is that it's a lot of counter initiation for the combos that EG's setting up. And I think you have to have some deterrent to this insane amount of damage aggression that EG's representing already.
EG just have a ton of magic damage amped up by that ET. And I think I agree with the Willow. They needed something like this, some AoE control. I mean, Trent sort of gives you AoE control, but it's not like a real stun.
It's not a stun against heroes that are casting spells.
Exactly, yeah. Okay, Bloodseeker. This is a Hector classic, actually. He plays Bloodseeker, and you think it's going to be a semi-carry, but he will hard carry the game with this hero. He will go Manta. He'll spam that Manta off cooldown with no regards for anything, and he'll TP to every lane, take all the farm, and he will out-carry like any hero on this
I'm
hero.
not saying this is 100% going to happen, but Hector is the kind of guy. I look at these lineups, and if I think of the Bloodseeker, immediately comes to mind he's going to need a BKB. Hector is a player that I think there's about a 50-50 chance he never buys a BKB this game. And
Yeah, I would not want to play this game without BKB.
I'm saying, that's
but
Hector,
I
though.
would believe it with
That's
Hector.
Hector.
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy that will go Manta,
'cause
Lincoln,
he's-
Scotty just to make sure he doesn't die.
He's used to
the fight.
playing Wraith King. He's used to having a second life, you know?
Indeed.
But Hector's like he's also the carry with he has like a passive Midas. Every game, he just has so much farm. It comes out of nowhere.
5 seconds
It
remaining.
is legit nuts.
He's really good.
I was talking to Rich on panel yesterday. You weren't there. I said I think he's the best farmer. And like,
Yeah,
all of
he might
Dota.
be.
Just if you only take that one facet of the game.
Honestly, the South American carries in general, like I think HFN on no ping, like we'll see, he's a fast farmer.
Yeah.
I don't know what made it like that, but they're really
It seems so simple. Just
efficient.
hit more creeps faster, but there's a lot more to it than that. That's why it's so impressive.
Nah, just in general, for people who want to gain MMR, you should learn how to farm. It will
Watch
gain
the
you a
farming
lot
patterns
of
of
MMR.
these South American
Yeah.
carries. You will learn something.
Do you think this is probably a mid Viper, right? You would say?
Oh, almost certainly. Yeah.
Okay, because I don't think. I mean, okay, of course, it can't be carried.
So
Viper.
far, Mars has been off lane for Ice both games,
So they banned to protect the TA, but they didn't ban this Viper hero.
which is probably the #1 counter, right?
Yeah, I think Viper's really strong for TA, not even just for the lane, but if you nether toxin her without BKB, like you're just a melee hero now. Like the
Yeah.
entire reason TA is strong right now is because of
Sideblade talent.
Yeah, Sideblade talent, the new build with Dragonlance. You can't hit anyone if you don't have any range.
I wonder if he's gonna skip the Dragonlance, like he just goes blink BKB. You
Just
know?
because of Viper?
Yeah,
or?
play around
Okay.
the fact that you can't rely on that
I
game
think
plan.
it's probably a bit hard to commit in this game with a blink. I would like to. I like your idea, but maybe like some Dragonlance Deso BKB. I could see that working really well.
Okay.
Like I just don't want her to blink in, and then she just gets Mars Arena'd or something, or like she gets Viper ulti'd and kited. It's hard to play TA like
This
that.
Pango band's really good. I think that it would have. I was thinking it for Whisper. He just loves playing these Chaos heroes. I don't think any ranged backline offlaners are going to fit this game. He needed a hero that just ran in and caused some disruption, and Pango's probably the best at that this game because it has the built-in BKB with the Rolling Thunder.
Is there anything else you think could allow him to get that disruption, though?
He's just such a weird player.
I think he does need to play a melee hero though. Beast Coast have generally been pretty good at pairing. Like if they have a range hero on 4, they'll have a melee hero. If they have a melee hero on 4, they'll pick a range
I
hero.
did see a Wyvern Phoenix offlane yesterday from them.
Yeah, they also do crazy stuff
So
like
they
that.
do very
Okay.
out-of-the-box, non-traditional things. I
I think they
legit
need
no
more
idea.
team fight. So maybe if they can make Wyvern work, I don't know.
I think they might even go like Magnus or something.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's
EG
good.
have second pick, right? Or
Yeah, it's Beast Coast pick right now.
Okay. It's probably hard to pick a vulnerable
Okay.
Beastmaster. Okay.
That's a different approach.
It's-
That's more of a map-oriented approach.
It's really good versus Outer Titan, and there was a time where you did need to ban Beastmaster versus Whisper. It was when Beastmaster was a bit of a different hero, you know, before the Aghanims Imba ruined the hero. But I sort of like it, honestly.
I think Drow, or I was going to say any heavy physical damage carry that I didn't get to talk about yet. Yeah, Terrorblade. I don't love it because it's against Willow, but we saw what they were able to do with it yesterday. Arteezy Terrorblade is a staple. They needed to punish BKBs. That's the biggest part about this last pick, because we talked about the overwhelming magic damage EG had. It is all removed by BKB. Like
Yeah,
all of the other
definitely.
4 heroes. So you needed a guy that's going to pelt everyone who's in that BKB. And I think Terrorblade, usually the go-to when you're lacking tower damage as well as single target physical.
He also provides some lane push. I mean, Mars and Viper aren't bad, but having more lane stuff, especially for a team like EG, definitely makes it easy to play. And I think you'll be able to like reflection the Beastmaster aura, and the most important thing to me is that they need a carry that can sort of stand and fight. Like if the enemy goes in with BKBs, they have sort of immobile cores in the Mars and Viper. You need to be able to stand your ground, and Terrorblade does that really well with meta.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, you heard from our analyst an outline of what may happen in this first game of the day. But let's just get to business and watch EG versus Beast Coast.
That's right. Here we are, EG up against Beast Coast Lacoste. EG with a very solid draft, as it looks like, and Beast Coast trying to pull a fast one. The Beastmaster as that last pick. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I gotta see Beastmaster is kind of boring, you know, and especially now without the Aghanim Scepter, I don't see Helm of the Dominator being too viable on the hero anymore. Definitely gonna need some armor, but it's definitely a very strong last pick TB for EG, where he is really not afraid of any heroes pretty much, except Dark Willow, but stun once he gets that to that second, third item, I think this Terrorblade can easily take over the game. Over the last few days, we've seen, you know, what Arteezy TB can
for
do,
sure.
and they know how to utilize it. They know how to play around the Terrorblade. They know how to secure his farm. So looking really forward to it.
Yeah, especially in the matchups, like you said, against the Beastmaster. I think the panel mentioned, you know, the reflection, taking that inner beast aura against Bloodseeker, and even TA, who can struggle to close the gap, get on top of the TB, and with his massive amounts of armor, actually take him down. But yeah, you're right. The Beastmaster's been a bit of a weird one. We have that Aghanims part of the meta where he was just played mid lane, rushing Aghanim Scepter. We haven't seen too much of Beastmaster in SA DPC, and when we have, it's very much been this medallion pipe rush. He just goes full aura bot. He doesn't really care about Helm or Vlad's or anything like that, just buff up his carries.
You're definitely going to need the Solar Crest here. You're playing into ET, which will remove all your base armor, and most of the damage is going to come from that Terrorblade.
Maybe a Crimson?
Maybe a pipe more.
Okay.
Let's see what he has. Phase boots and yeah, that's a Solar Crest queued up. And considering how Whisper has been playing, even on the last track where he decides to build all these tanky items, the mech, Guardian Greaves, he went for a Solar Crest one game, plus a Heaven's Halberd, just being able to tank up. So his itemization is really on point. He understands like where this damage is gonna come from. We can see on the mid lane already a D-ward coming out from Schofield.
I love that bit of tech that was discovered, what, like a year and a half, 2 years ago, whatever it was, where you're going into that tower range just behind the trees, you know, where the wards are hiding. That extra bit of vision gives the tower the opportunity to attack you. And that immediate D-ward from the Dark Willow does have to return back down to bottom lane, though, as Arteezy and Fly, the Terrorblade Elder Titan, up against this Beastmaster Dark Willow lane. And usually with Whisper, you were mentioning, you know, he has a pretty good time, gets into the aura items with a Leshrac, with the Nature's Prophet, the Death Prophet even. It's mainly ranged heroes he plays. Do you think he can create that pressure on a TB with a Beastmaster?
Whenever there's meta up, he's going to struggle. We can already see Fly completely zoning him out. He gets close. ET, a lot of damage. There is one Observer Ward that I believe is inside, but they're still going to do the body block. EG Fly just doing some real right-click damage right there.
Not fake ones?
Nope, not a fake damage.
That's some good pummeling into Schofield Willow. Maraska not too happy about that, as at top lane, the strong lane that the panel were mentioning. Crit and Ice Ice Ice, Lena Mars, the displacement ability of the spear, and of course that catch with the Light Strike Array. So good against the Treant, as they've already cleared through the majority of the trees, especially on that right-hand side of the lane, so much more difficult for him. As Schofield there, under tower, pops the Fairy Fire and turns. Bramble Maze catches Fly for a second, but it's just be able to get your regen off there for Whisper.
Fly brought so much regen to this lane, has a Windlace to be able to close the gap, get actually some damage on the heroes, and now using a healing salve, bringing another while sitting on 6 tangos. Mid lane, this should not be an easy lane for Templar Assassin. One reason why they decide to pick Viper, the overtime damage, go through the refraction charges. Chris Luck has that bottle now, so we'll be able to refill it with the water rune.
Yeah, and a good spot there, Scriff, our observer, showing us that little small camp blocked out by the sentry. Something a lot of these mid laners do like to do right is clear that camp after pushing the wave.
And this allows Templar Assassin not to gain any farm. If she feels like she can't get farm in the lane, we'll need to go to big camp, maybe like even a medium camp where outpost is, so they're not gonna be that easy. Fly getting slowed down, but should be all right. This is, as we mentioned, free Terrorblade game, and he's off to a really good start. 14 CS, 8 denies, Beastmaster, 4 and 2 only. Fly doing a very good job, pretty much zoning out both of these heroes, keeping the levels on himself low, while Arteezy is getting all the levels, level 3.5 already.
Across the board as well, right, Lacoste? I mean, it's a great start from EG, level-wise, experience-wise, CS as well. Every single lane dominating their counterparts. 10 denies on TB, 9 on the Viper. They're starting to shut down Beast Coast, even from this very early portion. And you're right, that large camp needs to be taken by the TA. She has ditched the mid lane, can no longer stand up against that Viper's onslaught.
We've seen yesterday, it was Sumail who played against Chris Luck, Venomancer.
Yeah.
He did really well
He did.
on Templar Assassin, but the small camp was not
Hold the
blocked.
stomp. They've got TB moving forward. Oh, he can't pass through the brambles and the boars. Opts to instead kill off the boar as Fly. Oh, we'll need one more hit here. The Fairy Fire toying with Fly, try and juke into the trees. Whispers baited the ET in. First blood comes for Beast Coast. Fly gets outplayed, but Schofield, he'll be the trade. Arteezy does get himself up on the board.
It's still a very good trade for EG. Arteezy getting solo XP. It was very close. Fairy Fire actually saved him there. Once again, Arteezy getting all the solo XP on the bottom lane. Fly will TP, heal him up. That's what you need to do as position 5. Pretty much give tangos, give healing salves. You're very good at it, Gary. I remember one game when you had like 5 healing salves plus mangoes and clarities running around.
Yeah, I was a little bit annoyed with my trusty shovel, but then I realized it was a blessing in disguise, just running around with salves, healing my teammates up. Salve Spammer 2000. I've renamed myself already.
Good name. Panel
what you
talked
gotta do.
about Bloodseeker, K1 being allergic to a BKB. I see an early BKB. Maelstrom,
good.
Phase Boots, not messing around. There's a ton of magical damage that he definitely needs to get, and also against the Sunder, it doesn't pierce spell immunity, so you want to have that one covered as well on top of it.
Oh, yeah, especially when your targets are the Viper and the TB. Getting on top of them and dealing with all of that great team fight reset and initiation, because you think about Stomp, I think the panel also mentioned about the Mars Arena, it's not just catch and kill. There's a great spear after Light Strike Array puts K1 in danger under the tier 1 tower. He won't drop for it. But
Bloodseeker has a ton of armor, 8, plus he also gets extra 4 from a chainmail, so it doesn't get as much damage from that tier 1 tower as other carries would.
And they are building up some pretty nice stacks here for Chris-Luck. Would you like to see someone go and take that mid lane over for him, or is it fine just clearing camps and coming back from time to time? Oh, hang on a second, Whisper. Oh, he's backed away.
Bottom lane's not doing really well. I don't think they can get any kills, maybe a return kill on position 5, but Arteezy should feel pretty safe. Has 6 magic on charges, has that Tango, getting closer to level 6, might even get the Sunder. So potentially Dark Willow can run to the mid lane and collect some XP while Templar Assassin is jungling.
Yeah, because you've got to do something about this, right?
It's a catapult wave.
Catapult waves there, and Crit's even maneuvered himself to try and get a bit more damage onto that tier 1 tower. Willow will come in from behind, chuck a Bramble Maze towards them, drag the creep wave around, but now surrounded. 3 heroes there, the TP cancelled by the Stomp, and Abed picks up a nice kill for himself as well as an illusion root. Well, this push isn't going to stop now. He'll cut the wave and keep it going. 3 heroes from EG into mid.
They didn't manage to keep the catapult alive, so that's kind of a bummer. Maybe Crit could have been the one tanking the tower, but they had no healing salves. So ET had one. Maybe that was the play, you know, just keep it alive instead of trying to go for a kill. Because Fly was already there, ready with a stomp. Another LSA.
Onto the Treant.
Treant very dead.
Yeah, absolutely is. And one by one, Beast Coast filter in to try and defend this objective. And he's gone for that 1-2-0 build. More in the Leech Seed, none in the Living Armor. So this tower, absolutely gone. The deny attempt, not quite on time from Schofield. And Abed now opens up the map for EG. So it's going to be a real smooth breakdown of the lane stage here, where Terrorblade can start to think about swinging up the top, get another tier 1 going for themselves. It's a very steady and calm game for EG, while it feels like Beast Coast are the ones that need to hit their item timings.
This is pretty much the perfect scenario for EG. The panel talked about how EG is very strong in the laning stage, one of the scariest teams, and this shows why. Viper, after taking the tier 1 tower on the mid, has Boots of Travel ready, so he can farm the jungle and join anywhere on the map with it. Also finds a Fairy Trinket, very nice indeed.
And Crit, coming in behind K1. Does he have another stun? 2 seconds for the Light Strike Array, and he is under vision. But K1 apparently speedy enough to get away from the Lina, so she turns on to Stinger instead. That's an absolute beatdown coming from OG. No one here from Beast Coast can show in the lanes or even show in their jungle. They're getting chased around non-stop. Viper now arriving means Stinger's done for, and a killing spree for Abed, and this is that transition into the top tier 1 we were talking about.
Meanwhile, on the bottom, Arteezy understands there might be some pressure, just sitting in jungle for now. EG playing very crisp this first 7 minutes of the game.
It's just, yeah, the natural flow of the game, right? Terrorblade wants to make that migration move up towards the triangle, maybe pressure top lane. Usually it's a little bit later on, you know, 9, 10, even 11 minutes in. So this is all happening very early on for EG. Maybe 2 minutes ahead of the curve even. Chris-Luck coming up towards top.
It's too late. They already got the tower. Living Armor, not enough. It's only level 1 Living Armor. Chris-Luck, as you mentioned.
The Radiant Sentry sees him.
He didn't want to fully commit. Probably checked if anyone has a Dust, has a Sentry, because he was running out of the range of it. Very nicely done by Abed.
And Beast Coast, yeah, that plan to go farm triangle, it's got to come to fruition now, and TA's got to sit there for quite some time. While EG just ramping up the pressure, playing all 3 lanes. Dragonlance, about 300 gold away for Chris-Luck, so that's a nice bit of stats. Extra range, of course, but getting stomped up in the mid lane. Abed,
they have
back on top of TA, and you're right, they've got all this reveal. They'll see the TA trying to TP home. That's optimistic from Chris-Luck, and definitely not successful. While in the jungle, Crit, he's been ruptured up. K1 and Schofield going to work on the Lina. The backup from Ice. It is here with an Arena, though. Straight towards the Bloodseeker with a spear, but he's held in place by the Brambles in that Nature's Grasp.
Here comes
Viper.
The kill.
And you're right, Abed. He's managed to TP top lane and look for some bonus kills. Stinger slowed down into the Nether Toxin, and Abed And that damage over time will try and open it up for Ice to get a finishing blow.
Man, EG is playing so aggressively. They get a good trade. Once again, first they get the Templar Assassin on the mid lane, just slowing her down. Templar Assassin doesn't have that much farm. You know, she has 68 CS sitting at the middle of the pack. Viper taking pretty much the top of the network chart with 5,000. Holy smokes, dude. He's
farmed.
He's actually super farmed. And Fly will get a D ward.
It really is just step by step. Almost Dota by colors here by EG. Everything's been very simple, systematic. Fly with that D ward. Looks like he will get surrounded by Beast Coast. One kill going their way.
Both supports on Beast Coast very underleveled. Level 4, 10 minutes in. I believe Dark Willow needs to get a tome. We'll see. And in this situation, as a Dark Willow, you don't max Shadow Realm. Like, it's like you don't get any value from it.
You control.
You're all about that control. Bramble Maze and max out the Curse Crown. I would not be surprised if he just keeps the Shadow Realm level 1 and has like 4-1-4.
Probably the smart move. So in this kind of situation, we talked about how well EG are doing. On the flip side, Beast Coast needing to hit these item timings on the TA, the Bloodseeker, that Maelstrom, the Deso, the BKB, things like that. Where do you find this room? Who do you prioritize? Because these heroes, they don't feel like they can go and smoke gank or fight, do they?
No, they definitely need items. Like Templar Assassin now finished off the Dragonlance. Once she gets that level 10 talent, extra 100 side blades range, it's going to be much easier. Abed.
Well, he's trying to bait. Illusion Rune dropped across. They don't know which one's real, and Whisper picked off by the Viper. Good little move from Abed there. And Crit, of course, helping out to cancel the TP, something that Viper can't do on his own. While top jungle again, EG with the invade. Missing out on K1, terrorized towards the ET. He's ruptured up as well, but Schofield's being soloed by a TB illusion. Arteezy just sends one Illu towards the Dark Willow, shoves her away, and in comes the spear. Arena, Ice, back onto Willow, pummels her into the ground. Chris Luck can't save his teammate. And EG on a real roll now. Beast Coast will secure this large camp stack for themselves, scrambling to pick up any gold they can.
TB illusion, scouting things out. As a support, it's one of the most annoying things to deal with, because your right clicks don't actually deal damage. You also don't want to spend like Bedlam to kill it, and then you can't make any aggressive moves. Good thing going for Beast Coast is having this Treant Protector who can stall out the game. Unfortunately, Living Armor only level 1 at this point. He definitely needs some levels, get that Overgrowth online to be able to reset the fight.
Desperately needs it. He's gone, 2 points in the grasp, I guess, because of that situation where he wants to be pushing out the lanes a little bit faster.
We still have not seen a single roar being used. They should be playing around the Beastmaster, full Solar Crest done on him, so that's going to be a significant amount of damage, and also tankiness providing against the TB. ET, only 1 point in Aura. Eventually he will get it, just wants to be able to have that Echo Stomp maxed out as a point in ulti. I listen to Fogged a lot. He is the
master of ET
expert, so he's like, in this situation, at 2 points in Astral is enough. You need to max out the Echo Stomp and then go for the Aura. No need to be greedy.
No, of course not.
You're not the one who's dealing damage. And look at all the damage amplification that they got. Viper with the poison attack, reducing the magic resistance. Then you have ET removing the basic magic resistance with the Aura.
Willow again. Streak continuing for Ice. Dominating now on that wonderful offlane Mars.
Rich is not happy. Rich seeing Dark Willow. Mireska doing so poorly in this game. 1-4 and 2,
She's
sitting
not
at the bottom of net worth. Not really contributing too much.
Yeah, 5-0 on the Viper there as well. Having a cracking time on Abed. Now, the point you brought up about the Beastmaster, though, needing to play around him and the Roar, they're doing that now with Stinger. Not the best combo to go in with them, and Ice, he's going to move back towards the Beastmaster, getting out the Earth Splitter there. Beast Coast looking to force a fight around Roshan, but they lose their Treant. A 1-for-1 trade, I guess that's decent when you're this far behind already, but you're not able to take any semblance of map control. Metamorphosis is used here, so EG gonna ramp things up and push towards that tier 2 mid and even the Dire Triangle.
The problem for EG right now is they're so far ahead. They have no objectives to take. They took a tier 1 tower on the top. They took the mid. Like, they still can't kill the Roche, but you can see them like trying to go for something. Good kill.
He's made the jump on the Beastmaster. In comes the TB. This is a great usage of the Meta if they can get the kill, but the body block's not enough. Whisper too tanky with that. Like you said, Solar Crest, Phase Boots plus Living Armor makes him incredibly difficult to bring down in a short duration. Now that's meta down. Something here Beast Coast could use to their advantage is a window, an opening for them to get out on the map and start playing their own game, because they've not made any real initiative moves themselves. Crit smoke pops. Ice jumps. That arena back onto the Beastmaster. Fear comes, but Crit already launched down his Light Strike array, while Abed with a DD rune onto Chris Luck. Any stuns to stop the TP. The stop a second late.
And Viper, he also want to be able to scale, going into more damage-oriented items. Dragonlance, he is a dragon, after all, like dragon/Viper, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And now going into Manta style to be able to get rid of those annoying silences, can dispel a Solar Crest, Overgrowth mostly. Like carry and mid players, whenever they see tree and they're like, Manta style is the item that I want to buy. Like screw everything else, Manta style is the thing to go.
I don't want to press my BKB for some foliage that's holding me into the place. I don't want that. Oh, SSI sees K1. Bloodseeker trying to farm that camp on the low ground. Dangerous spot, but the Roar in the back. Whisper finds the Lina. Stomp from Fly towards K1, and that Laguna Blade will take him down. Bloodseeker out, and Beast Coast still trying to respond to this, but SSI's there with a body block. Cancelled out by the Overgrowth. Still have the Spear and Splitter, though, landing in towards Whisper, and that'll take him out of the game.
Nicely done. EG taking most of the farm on the map. TB farming triangle with the illusions. Gonna body block the camp. Nope. It actually expires, the illusion efficiency. Arteezy's too good. Like 1 second before, it expired.
Clever man. He knows his timings. And Arteezy, so strong right now, feeling he can just push straight onto that tier 2 top. 8,000 net worth on him, and it's a great job by Beast Coast, keeping the TA competitive in the net worth, but then you start thinking about the Viper, the Mars. They are significantly ahead of their counterparts in the Bloodseeker and that Beastmaster.
It takes a bit more time than usual when you're playing against the Treant Protector, so you sometimes need to fully commit, go on the tower, bring that one extra person to be able to deal with the Living Arbor, and now tier 2 tower is gone, we'll take the outpost. They still have enough resources to possibly defend the bottom.
It is one of those interesting scenarios though, right? Like you said, they are quite far ahead at quite an early point, as Whisper getting caught in the mid lane. ISOScience just seems to be on his tail every step of the way, finding that Beastmaster once again.
Pretty much the perfect game from ISOScience. 0 deaths involved in a lot of kills, going for the correct targets in a team fights. Dark Willow not allowing her to use her spells, and going back to her skill build. 1 point in Shadow Realm, as we discussed, the more value you get from maxing out the Curse Crown, reducing the cooldown on it, possibly using another set of it, going into Shard. We'll still need to wait for that 20-minute mark, but once you get it, it's super annoying.
So yeah, EG in this position now, you mentioned it, with very few objectives that they can very easily go and take, because they've taken them already. The next real goal should be around that Roshan, and probably looking for a team fight to get into the pit. But I feel like Beast Coast are also aiming for that point as well, right? TA lineups, they want Rosh, they want Aegis. They're getting now into the BKB on TA. They've got Bloodseeker getting into his own one, which is, what, about 1,400 gold away.
They want Rosh, but I also want to be tall, blonde, and handsome, Gary, which is not happening. I just got to be more realistic.
Well, you're two of those things. You're tall and handsome.
I'm really not tall, but okay.
Ice. Curse Crown not going to come in time, and Schofield dead as the initiation from EG blows up the both supports. A roar from Whisper. K1 thinking about popping himself into that fight, but the entirety of EG is all here. It's a 3v5. Chris Luck comes in. He wants crit. Takes down the Lina. TA. That's 1 kill and a TP home. See ya. I'm out of here.
Cannot stop it. They don't have ET ulti, nothing to stop the TP with. K1 dropping fairly low, going into BKB. After finishing the Maelstrom, this is going to be his defensive tool.
He's still farming. K1 greedily hitting creeps. Slowed down by the reflection. ISOScience with a spear, and K1. He stuck around for far too long.
Extremely greedy. Like, where could they possibly be? You know, do they want to farm a left part of the map, or do they want to farm Ancients? So, like, they just got 2-3 big kills, and it's kind of obvious that they're going to go inside the triangle. Maybe just potentially send a TB illusion. Here we go again.
Straight onto Stinger. Nature's Grasp slows down ISOScience, but he has that displacement tool, repositioning the Treant back into the rest of his team. And Stinger, he finds a tiny hidey hole there, but he can't get away from the grasps of EG. Arteezy with yet another pick-off, while Whisper trying to just keep a little bit of pressure on this bottom lane, up towards the tier 3 tower, push with the boars, but he's got to be careful to not get caught out. Dire vision. Oh, it's a false sense of security for Whisper. Oh, they're going to find him. Fly, not even bothering. ISSI had already blinked forward, hadn't he?
He thought that they have full team behind him. Was very worried. And I understand why. He's 7-0 and 4, high level. If he dies, feeds away a lot of gold to the enemy team.
You don't want that. And Abed, like you mentioned, Manta style done after that bot's Dragon Lance. They're so incredibly tanky. 15 armor on him. You got tons of armor on the Terror Blade. So Beast Coast game plan, the one fight that they really have to take, again, around that Roche pit, around that primary objective for them. How do they start the fight? Who do they go on? Do you try and blow up the Lina first?
That's the plan. Seems like that's just what they've been doing last couple of fights. TA goes on Lina, pops a BKB, and here we go again. I've seen this movie a couple of times already.
They're trying on Crit. Great arena, though. Still with a Bedlam. Out comes the damage from Mareska's little friend. And Chris Luck with a BKB, and oh, he doesn't have a TP scroll. He's going to meld and hide. Can't escape.
Do they have any
evil geniuses?
Spear?
Spear is there.
He
and
gets
they see
it.
the Templar Assassin. Ice.
Ice with the Vac. Vac, how does he know?
He just knows exactly where she is.
Oh, that was great. That was actually so good. First, Abed uses the Nether Toxin. I mean, they click on the heroes, Gary. I guess that's why. They saw there's no TP. Someone called it. Professional e-gamers paying attention to the
Pressing
items.
buttons.
Yeah, they were very good at it.
Using their eyes. They saw exactly what was up. And K1, he's farming Ancients, and that's why. His BKB now arrives, but 30 seconds without a TA, and first Roshan going EG's way. 21-7 with a 7k lead. Scardy on the TB. This is starting to feel like an insurmountable amount of lead that EG has.
One thing that Beast Coast is very good at is getting the most out of the map when they feel they're not winning.
Yeah.
Their games yesterday, things are not going well. They go for a sneaky little play. Tiny, Schofield manages to get Avalanche and 2 heroes, stop the TPs. They take one set of racks. Then K1 with Abba plus a Manta style takes another set of racks. They lost that game, but they still always have some kind of a backup plan. It feels like split push is their way to come back into the game. Beastmaster right now on the bottom being very annoying, trying to force one rotation. Viper can be the one just being there and TP back to the fight with the Boots of Travel.
Sure can. Yeah, you're absolutely right. We saw this plenty of times where they feel like their mid to late game macro movements, that decision making of where to be on the map, is what Beast Coast feel they do best. And they are getting to a point where they'll have 2 BKBs, the blink on the Beastmaster, the jump and initiation for Beast Coast could levy themselves a good team fight with just the numbers advantage if they blow someone up. Chris Luck has to be wary though of his positioning. Ice has been so good with these blink forward, spear back. Especially with the rest of EG ready and waiting around this tier 2 mid lane.
The Psyblades with level 10 talent and a Dragon Lance is insane. He actually got hit by the Ice.
There we go. They jump on in. Arena there to try and save up the Viper. The rupture, the damage, they blow through Abed. Beast Coast, the timing, they've hit it. The team fight comes in thick and fast. The Fear as well. Ice and the ET caught up in it. But the Laguna Blade turn from Crit. And the Scardy slow, pummeling into the TA. Turnaround from EG. That's where their net worth lead lies.
Good Thunder
back onto Ice again. And a triple for Crit.
Arteezy not really afraid to use Sunders to save his teammates. We saw the other day when he popped it and uses Satanic right after. Oh, trap. I don't think he's going to die to it. Do they have any kind of a heal? They don't. No.
Any more traps?
Oh. Aegis will run out in 3 minutes, so he will keep it. TP's back to base. He is the king of the game. Like Arteezy sitting on the hill. I'm not talking about the hill where he usually is, just sitting on a high ground, dealing damage with meta. Looked like a good opener for Beast Coast. Mars still didn't die. I actually don't know how Ice lived. I moved my camera a bit to the right. I saw like TB, Dark Willow was coming from the side. We can see the power of Dark Willow and the Shard just being very annoying, putting up those Bramble Maze down. Can't get out.
Yeah, that control, very important for Beast Coast. But you can start to see that light at the end of the tunnel for them. The potential for them to get into a team fight, burst someone, get that early advantage and then snowball out with the Bloodseeker. But K1,
One more
scouted
time.
out. His BKB's there with a Rupture onto Ice. Chris Luck, Sideblade splashing. The rest of the team starting to arrive here for BC, and Arteezy, he's got Sunder ready in 1 second, also has the Aegis like you were mentioning, so first life still being held for a sec. Curse Crown and Bramble's gonna come through, he's stunned up his team, and bottom lane, they've got a Laguna Blade. Crit finds Whisper, he needs the Roar. He's starting to fight the Lina, but he's got to get out of there. Blink ready, no mana for TP though.
Arteezy actually griefing. He goes in, stuns Viper, who's trying to TP bottom while they were making a move on Beastmaster. That would actually be a kill.
Yeah, and his Aegis now gone. A reflection quickly towards Chris Luck. Another Cursed Crown, very irritating here for Arteezy to contend with, and that Arena Spear whiffing. Ice, the first misstep of the game.
Swindle Melons would have hit that Arena plus a Spear combo for sure.
Even him. Now, what's the reason for this? Like, Evil Genius is starting to take their foot off the pedal a little bit. So the past couple of minutes, they've been a bit sloppy from EG. Are they afraid of the BKBs of Beast Coast? Is it that bot lane that's been pushed in so often by Whisper, they have to keep coming back and dealing with it?
Now, it's chip damage. One thing that they can do is have Viper on the bottom, as we already discussed, and possibly have one hero if they decide to make, like, ET is probably the best option, where if they want to make, you know, they are staying one step ahead, they will have Viper there, so let's smoke and gank him, because what he wants to do is TP back, so they can have ET possibly set up a trap for Beast Coast.
I think they caught a glimpse of something there. EG positioning themselves as if they know the smoke has happened, and yeah, Chris Luck, I think he showed under a ward or something, because they were really heavily pinging on that side of the map, so Beast Coast don't get a pick off. They get the mid lane cleared out by TA cutting wave, tier 1 top lane grabbed up by BC, while EG doing a very similar thing there with a TB illusion, safely cutting wave themselves in the mid. And now we get into a situation where map control is paramount. It really is key. We're looking towards second Roshan, as no team really wants to break up the ramps towards high ground just yet, because the lead, even though it's 10k for EG, it doesn't feel like they've got the substantial amount of damage or push to break through the base of East Coast.
They have these big items, especially on Lina with the Aghanim Scepter.
Did he just use himself? Ice. He blink used himself.
Too quick. He's too quick with the buttons. Happens to best of us.
And now maybe an opening. Terrorblade, waiting in that dire triangle. Still wants to go for the tier 2 and even a reflection, pushing forward against Schofield. High ground being pressured top lane though, like K1, they cleared through tier 1, tier 2, got a bit of damage onto the tier 3 tower. And again, next Roshan, 2 minutes, 20 seconds. They've opened up this map for themselves beautifully.
This is the big timing for both of these teams. Second Roshan, most important Roshan in the game pretty much, because he drops so many stuff. It's like having Christmas presents, all your relatives coming in, you don't know they're coming.
It's the piñata.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Getting a cheese Aegis, plus a shard. Shard is, who could possibly pick up the shard for EG? Mars is okay, Melina also with Aghanim Scepter, but they might prioritize, give it to Viper, which causes poison attack to lower armor by 1 per stack, and it also is better for sieging.
Ice, in again. Gets the Arena Spear down and a great splitter onto Treant, blowing through Stinger as Chris Luck having to TP again. BKB up and out he goes back to Fountain, while Crit hounding K1 and forcing him out of there as Schofield is chased by the Viper. The 2 supports from Beast Coast very likely going to meet their end. Demise is inevitable for Schofield.
It's just not enough damage. We've seen the combo, Rupture plus a Terrorize. TB a bit too tanky, sitting at 3,000 HP right now.
Well, this time, man don't miss. Whisper with a BKB though, forces Ice to reconsider his options. Can't go for that Yule Spear play anymore. And they keep the pressure going. Bot lane pushing in. EG still in this position, very forward in the mid lane. But they've always got to keep coming back. I mean, the first 15 minutes was very much Beast Coast sitting back, farming and waiting, EG making all the moves. But recently, it's been Beast Coast dragging them from one side to the other.
They're very good at it. I want to see EG make a play on the bottom lane, possibly set up a Tinker Ward. This is where Beastmaster's constantly hiding.
Oh, he saw him, I think, for a second. He's pinging him. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. Tries the spear, good attempt from Ice, but unfortunately off the mark. And then TPing back out. Rejoin his squad. Top outpost is EG's, while Beast Coast, oh, they're under Radiant Vision. And that means Ice with a spear launching in towards Maresca. Chain stunned up and a godlike streak still unkilled. 9-0-8.
Ice is just having a blast in this game. Reminds me of the game yesterday with a Timbersaw, where he managed to die only when decision was made to hit the tier 4 tower, stand there, pretend to be AFK. And they repositioned him a couple of times, you know, brought 5 heroes.
Yeah.
Pretty much the story of this game. Once he gets that BKB, it's going to be very, very hard to kill. Meta up in 30 seconds. Arteezy has Manta style, has a casual Sange on top of it. Like, you can disassemble it, make SNY. But as we mentioned, Manta style great against the silences and most importantly, the overgrowth.
Absolutely is. I mean, chip down here onto the tier 3s against living armor. Doesn't feel particularly good for EG. Stinger's just going to stick there and keep spamming out the heals. While we look at the rest of this map, sure, EG have top lane, mid lane pushing in. Roshan 45 seconds away. But would you believe it? The madman himself, K1, has pushed the bottom lane.
Again, there are no shards in this game. The only hero that bought a shard is Dark Willow. Like, that shard was really good. Got a bit nerfed. It reduces cooldown by 2 seconds and stun delay by 1 second, so you cannot TP out. Before it was 4 seconds.
How do you rate the Bloodseeker shard with that, like, pure percentage-based damage?
It's good, you know, but you don't want to buy it. You do not want to invest gold in it.
Oh, not Maresca again! The poor wee lass, she's dead.
I don't think you get too much value out of the shard this game anyway on the Bloodseeker. You want to still prioritize items. It's very good against, let's say, tanky heroes like a Bristleback who have a lot of HP. It's, you know, even in this game, TB has a ton of max HP, so you still get some value, but I think he does not want to buy it.
Wait for the Roshan, maybe get it from Rosh instead. Well, EG back out on the map, forcing Beast Coast to come back. And they are getting much more effective farm, right? The double ancient camps being cleared. We see the Viper on the left, TB on the right. So they are getting that incredible acceleration from all those ancients being farmed up. Abed there, I believe he scouted Roshan, but decides to TP mid to keep this map pressure up and force Beast Coast into a position where they have very limited options.
So many auras on EG. You have AC, Vlad's done on ET on top of it. You get
Sheever's guard.
You get Beastmaster aura with the reflection.
This Lena's huge. 13,000 net worth, yeah, ahead of Whisper's Beastmaster even, but look at this Beast. It's the Beast Coast special. At any point in the game, you know your high ground's gonna be threatened. Schofield, I think that's 4 times in a row in that exact same spot. Top dire jungle, dead again. Oh, Bloodseeker. Don't want to stick around here.
They're doing it.
He's got your number, forces the BKB out, but you're right, they've taken down the tier 3 in the barracks. Whisper, Chryslog, and the Treant there, destroying buildings while Arteezy grabs the Aegis. It's all smoke and mirrors.
It's a good move from Beast Coast. They got something out of it. They understand we cannot fight inside the Roche pit. It's a bit too strong against ET, against the Terrorblade, who picked up the shard. It was actually Lena. I like that, because she has a Aghanim Scepter plus a shard, and yeah, spell amplification, level 20 on top of it. So her shard allows you to have AoE Laguna Blade. You can ground target it on top of it.
And that goes into Willow's Shadow Realm, doesn't it?
It does, yes.
So now that Shadow Realm no longer as great a save as it once was. And Arteezy, emboldened by his Aegis, and this Metamorphosis, straight up behind that tier 3 tower. Living armor with a glyph, though, extends the duration at which TB has to stay up here.
A bit low on mana.
He minds too much, and with a Great Arena Spear catching Chryslog, in comes the Scardy damage, and that TB raining Hellfire upon the Beast Coast side. Good Laguna Blade as well, but Chryslog Refraction tries to meld and hide away. Turn around from Beast Coast with a roar, but Whispers obliterated. They're bleeding out. One by one, they filter in and all fall flat, dying. As EG, turning this great laning stage, an early advantage into a middle lane of barracks, and probably the game.
This is all it took, and why EG was not too worried about all that split push. Yeah, you might lose one set of barracks, but they know we group in, we take a fight. Arteezy is just unkillable at the moment. Has that Aegis, will respawn with mana, right now sitting at the 200 mana, so he can spam his spells.
And he's the only one showing The way for Beast Coast here to win a team fight is to get to the back and find the squishy support. Arteezy sunders K1. Yeah, back to Fountain you go. Can't deal with me. I'm a big bad TB. 2 lanes of barracks for Evil Geniuses, and top lane is also pushing in pretty hard.
He just doesn't care. Going through Nature's Grass, another arena.
Straight onto Jorien. Yet again, supports are easy pickings. EG have a beyond godlike Mars.
They can easily just go to the top lane. Aegis available on TB plus Elven Tunic, so he even has some evasion on top of it.
He basically wants to die at this point. Give me some mana back, please. I want a second life. This team fight execution from EG has been really sublime.
Pop Satanic, kills 2 boars, back to full HP, Sunder available. You need to be very careful. There's not enough lockdown.
There's the roar. They're trying to get in and focus down this Lina. Fly with the Earth, but they're coming back towards the No, and K1 in trouble. Has to bail away. BKB's done, and Dark Willow following the Treant into the grave. Chris Luck is really struggling to find any form of impact, and GG is called. In comes ISO. He wants more kills. Stat padding time for the Mars. Go on, give it to him. The Madman wants more. He's tasted blood in the water, but Chris Luck will survive towards the very end of the game. But a beautiful performance from EG from start to finish.
It was a 10th pick Terrorblade. They knew they had nothing, no real spell damage that TB is afraid of. The only hero was pretty much Dark Willow, and Dark Willow was not having a game. Ice was on her pretty much all the time throughout the whole game, using the arena, spear. They opened up the map very nicely early on. Boots of
Yeah.